What's going on, you guys? Welcome to the Radio City Podcast. This is your host, Cristopher Zamora. Welcome to the show. So before I start, guys, I just want to say, if you are listening to the podcast on any platform like Pandora or Spotify, I also have a YouTube channel. So like if you want to see the visual presentation, you can go on my YouTube channel page, which is the Radio City Podcast, and you'll be able to see me in person. Well, not in person, but like in a video format, So yeah, I just wanted to let you know before I actually start the podcast. Alrighty, guys, welcome to the show. This is your host, Cristopher Zamora. So today, guys, I want to speak to you about when I went to Collecticon. Collecticon just happened last Saturday for me. This is basically my second convention I have been to. I have been to the Comic Palooza convention at least twice in my life, and Collecticon is just another convention. It was good. It was a nice convention, and I have to say, I got to meet Erica Schroeder. She is the lady behind the voice of Luffy, which is the main character of One Piece. One Piece is definitely one of my favorite animes of all time, especially the character of Luffy. And I was so stoked, man. I was so stoked of meeting the actual voice behind the character, behind Luffy's character. And I got to meet her. I actually went around 11 over there at Collecticon. I actually got the half a day off so I can go over there and go see the convention. I didn't know before at work that I had at least 4 hours left for my vacation time. And so I used it to go to the convention right after work. So yeah, that's what I did. And I got there probably like around 10:35ish. It probably took me at least like 40 minutes or so just to get in. It was a long line. Not only to get in, but also to make the lines to meet the celebrities that were there. A few celebrities that I will mention, well, like I said, Erica Schroeder. She was the voice of Luffy. Sean Schemmel. He's also the voice actor for Goku for Dragon Ball Z. There was also Chuck Norris over there. And also the voice actor who plays as Tanjiro in the Demon Slayer series. So yeah, it was stacked. It was very stacked. I could not believe how many big celebrities there were there. The lines just to meet them, guys, it took me probably at least 2 hours to meet Erica Schroeder. To meet Sean Schemmel, it took me probably like 2 hours and 40 minutes. For him, probably took me way longer because it was around 4 or 3ish when I went to the line and tried to meet him before they actually closed at 6. So like the convention actually just started at 10 and it finished at 6 on a Saturday. I got to go, man, and it was fun just seeing those celebrities, especially Erica Schroeder. Dude, I was nervous meeting her. I mentioned before that I met Christopher Judge, which is the voice actor behind of Kratos, which is the new voice actor for the God of War games, God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok. Yeah, I actually got to meet him at Comic Palooza this year. And now I got to meet Erica Schroeder and Sean Schemmel. For Sean Schemmel, it was kind of brief because, I don't know, there was a lot of people and I'm guessing he was just like trying to hurry up because there was a lot of people. And probably he was just getting late. But like when I got to meet Erica Schroeder, like it didn't really feel like 2 hours because I was actually talking to the people that were in line with me. We were just talking about like all the things that we liked about anime, what we liked about the TV shows. It was just having a good time with these people. I didn't really get their names, but yeah, man. Same thing happened when I actually made the line for Christopher Judge. I got an autograph from him, and for Erica Schroeder, I had a Funko Pop of Luffy. So I got an autograph from her to sign my Funko Pop of Luffy. I had no idea that there were actually two voice actresses for the character of Luffy for the English version. I had no clue. It's Erica Schroeder and Connie. That's her name, I believe. I do not know her last name. It's not coming up the top of my head right now. But yeah, hopefully one day she comes here in Houston, and hopefully I'll get to meet her as well. Maybe she can also sign the Luffy Funko Pop as well if she ever comes here in Houston. And also I had a Funko Pop of Goku for Sean to sign. And like I said, for Sean it was kind of brief just for him to sign it because there was a lot of people, and I'm guessing he was like trying to rush everything. I don't know, it just seemed like everything was going super fast, like very quick, around 3 to 4. But like when I got in line for Erica Schroeder's line, it was around, I believe, 11:15ish, and I got out of line around like 1:45 or 1:30. Like I said, I had to wait a long time, but I actually got to meet her. I actually got to meet the voice behind my favorite character of anime, which was Luffy. She played as the 4Kids version. Like I remember that was a program they had back then. And man, I gotta tell you what she told me. Well, like, I made a comment that I watched One Piece ever since I was young. Like I was around 10 years old. That's what I told her. But then like during the pandemic, like around 2020, that's when I started watching One Piece, like from episode 1 through the current episodes they have. And like we just started talking, and she mentioned if I liked the Netflix version that just came out for One Piece. And I said, yeah, it's really cool. I did enjoy it. And the last thing that she mentioned was that she had a question for me, right? And like she had her hand out. Like she said, hey, I have a question for you. And like she had her hand out. And so I actually went and go grab her hand. And then she said, want to join my crew? She said it like in the Luffy voice. That was cool, man. She actually did the Luffy voice. It was cool. It's awesome. Like I was so nervous, dude. I was so nervous to meet her, to meet Sean as well. But like mostly for Erica Schroeder, because I just had to meet the voice behind this character of Luffy. Like I remember when I was a kid, always watching One Piece, like just wondering, how does this person looks behind the character? And that's her, man. I actually got to meet Erica Schroeder. I still need to meet the other one, the other English version of Luffy. But yeah, man, I actually got to meet her, and she did the voice of Luffy, like I said. Want to join my crew? And guess what I said? Of course, of course that did. It's so awesome, man. For the convention, like I say, like all the things that you probably might see in Comic Palooza, they were about the same in a way. I mostly saw like Pokemon stuff and like card trading most of the time when I was over there at the convention. There really wasn't much stuff that I enjoyed seeing. I mostly enjoyed like seeing more things when I was at Comic Palooza. It was the George R. Brown Center. It was the same place. The Comic Palooza was at the George R. Brown Center. Same thing for Collecticon. But like yeah, like I said, Collecticon mostly was just like Pokemon stuff. There really wasn't many things over there in that convention. Not that I recalled of. And like for me, Pokemon, it was just something that I saw, but I really wasn't a fan of. I was mostly like a huge fan of Yu-Gi-Oh. That was my thing, man. Yu-Gi-Oh was my favorite, probably anime at the time when I was young. I didn't even know it was an anime. I didn't even know that it was called an anime at the time. I thought it was a cartoon, you know. Well, what did I know? I was just a kid back then. Like I remember when Yugi he fought Pegasus, and also when he had that huge match against Kaiba, like during the Battle City tournament. Also when he fought Merrick. I think that was my favorite duo that Yugi had. Him against Merrick. That is just so iconic. Yeah, man. What a time. When they introduced the three Egyptian god cards, they were like the most powerful beast in that world, in the universe of Yu-Gi-Oh. So it was cool to see that, man. It was a cool time. I remember it used to come out on Kids WB. There was a lot of shows that used to come out on that program, like Scooby-Doo, Jackie Chan Adventures, Shaolin Showdown, and you guessed it, Yu-Gi-Oh. There was a lot of good programs back then, man. But like as of now, like I wouldn't say they're just not good. It's probably because I just don't watch those programs anymore. Like Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network back then used to have great shows. A lot of awesome shows. My favorite one that I would just mention briefly, it is Ed, Ed and Eddie. These three fellas, they were just kids just playing outside and just trying to mess with the other people around the cul-de-sac. They were just friends just hanging out during the summertime. And now, like for the TV shows that come out now, I don't know if they ever can compete with the ones that used to come out before when I was young. Anyways, going back to Collecticon, this convention was okay for me. It wasn't the best convention that I had been to, but it was fine. Just looking at the stuff that they had over there. And to be honest, I didn't really get anything else. I only got the autographs from Sean McNeil and Erica Schroeder. Oh, and I forgot to mention. How did I forget to mention this? Steve Aoki had a performance on Saturday, which was the day that I actually went over there. He had a live performance. He had like a 1 hour live performance. It was fun, man. I was going with his music. I was just getting in the groove, just having a good time over there, man. And not only that, if you guys are a fan of Pokemon, you probably might know the singer who sang the original theme song, the English version for Pokemon. He actually came up there at the stage and he started singing the Pokemon song. Now that was cool. He started singing the theme song of Pokemon and everybody was just going with it. They started singing with him. Wow, man. It was just a throwback. Just hearing the actual guy who sang that song on stage live, that was always like a song that I always heard when I was young, but I never really saw the actual guy singing it. But now I had the chance to, because he was there at this convention and he sang the Pokemon theme song. It was cool, man. Nice. It was dope. I left around probably 5:40 the convention because I was already getting tired, and I didn't went alone. I actually went with my cousins. They're a huge fan of going to these conventions. We actually started going to these conventions basically last year. Comic Palooza was the very first one I went to, and I went with them. I went to Comic Palooza twice already, and CollectCon was the third one I ever been to. I haven't really been to Anime Matsuri because I was at the time. It was around August that convention was going on, and I was busy, so I could not make it. Maybe for next year, if I have time left, then probably I will be able to go to that convention and see if it's actually good or not. I have watched certain animes. I don't really watch a ton of animes. I could just only name a few for you guys. Just a few, okay? Just like a few. I'll say I like One Piece. I like Death Note. There's this other one called One Punch Man. I've seen a little bit of Bleach before, but it's fine. And also Black Clover and Demon Slayer. Those are like the only few that I can actually just mention for you. I'm not really like a huge anime fan, but there are just certain animes that I watched before. And from time to time, my cousin, he shows me like different types of animes that he's watching at the time. Like Bleach was one of them. I'm not really a huge anime that takes place with samurai stuff. I don't know why. I'm guessing probably if Zoro, that's the second main character in One Piece, if he was the main character, I probably would not have liked One Piece as how I do now. Luffy is not really a swordsman. He's just a brawler, and he just stretches and stuff because of the devil fruit that he ate when he was young. But yeah, guys, I don't really like a swordsman type of animes. I don't know. Demon Slayer, it was okay. And the story for me, for that one, it was okay as well. I really don't understand the hype for it. Like, I really don't, man. It's not that I'm a hater of the anime, but I really don't understand why is it so hyped up. It's just okay. It's not that great. I'm sorry if you are a huge fan of Demon Slayer, but for me, it's just mid. It's not that great. I still believe that One Piece is the best anime created by far. The second one, I had to say Death Note. Now, Death Note's story is just a masterpiece. And also like how they actually wrote everything at a good pace. It just makes sense. And that's why I had to put Death Note as number 2. And that's all the animes I will mention to you guys. And yeah, guys, that is it for this podcast. Hey, thank you so much for listening. If you guys did enjoy this podcast and would like to hear more, make sure you subscribe to the channel or wherever you are listening to the podcast. Like I said before, I do have a YouTube channel where I have the video format for these podcasts. So if you are a fan of this podcast, guys, go subscribe to the YouTube channel and you will be able to listen and also see me in person. You'll be able to see my videos and just me talking about stuff, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. And also don't forget to also tell a friend or a neighbor that actually likes listening to podcasts like these, like talking about comic book stuff, anime things. Maybe they will enjoy this podcast as much as you do listening to it. And you guys can just talk about it as well. every single Tuesday around 11 a.m. Central Time. That's when I actually post my podcast, so you guys won't ever miss it. 11 a.m. Central Time. The podcast will be always ready for you to listen. And that is it, guys. Again, thank you so much for listening. Take care, guys, and I'm out. Take care and live to the fullest. Bye.